hello Anand, welcome to Architecture AVM. This is our studio here. So we can start maybe here. This is our favorite ambidextral polymath, Leonardo da Vinci. He's our mascot. And over here we have some architectural drawings, a printer station, workstations, and here there's a product catalog that we have to refer to while we're working on projects. There are several models usually lying around for bits and pieces that we're working on. This is a Californian beach shack tower cluster project. This is a public installation project, luxury residence overlooking the beach here in Western Australia. And here we have a public landscape design. It's a garden dedicated to world peace. It's called the 21st Century World Peace Garden. And okay, so moving up, this is my office space here. And what can I tell you? This is where my creativity happens. And this is actually a life-size painting, which was the front cover artwork for the ELViRiA album, The City of Search. And you mentioned the lion. There are the lions from the dream that we discussed in your interview, and various other symbolic elements in the background.
Wow. On your develop the be on you be a what is the in or in the
Sure. So Anand, this image actually, the inception of the concept for the image was a dream that I had many years ago. And in the dream, I was sitting on a chair, on a throne chair, just like that. And there was a lion on the ground. There was actually two lions in this particular dream, just like that. And it was a very interesting dream because what happened was the lion was a tamed lion. It wasn't like a wild lion. It was a tamed lion. And I looked at the lion and it went behind the chair in the dream. And behind the chair, there was a large red velvet, like a curtain covering something behind. And the lion pawed away the curtain. And behind it was the most beautiful blue, spiritual looking aquarium. There wasn't any fish in there, but it was just this very beautiful water. So there are the images that have been recreated in that photo sitting. And to answer your question about the symbolism, for me, first of all, the lion is one of my favorite animals. It shows strength and authority and power, but the power it's a spiritual power. That's the way I see it. And for me, in the dream, that was a confirmation that the lion revealed the aquarium. So I think, you know, it's funny in the world that we have today, spirituality, you know, high-minded conduct, ethical kind of conduct is seen as a weakness. And I think for me, it's the opposite. It is the lion. These are the highest, noblest qualities that we have as human beings. Is being, you know, true to oneself, being honest, helping your fellow man. So that's the symbolism for me.
Being rock music do you have in your music?
Yes, absolutely. The music that I do is heavily instrumented with orchestral elements. So most of the songs well, all of them practically have rock instruments. So you'll have, the electric guitar, bass guitar, drums, rhythm guitar, and keyboards. But there are also full orchestral arrangements, strings, brass, woodwinds, as well as exotic instruments. So, I don't think we need to necessarily draw a clear distinction between contemporary music, rock music, and orchestral music, classical music. It's really all the same thing. It's just that now, at this point in time, we have the benefit of all of that history of music that we can draw from and create a richer art form from.
Have other music in your
Sure. Well, musical styles. Yeah. Well, what I do with the ELViRiA project is generally rock, and it's electronic dance music or electronic music, and world music. So as far as they're the kind of genres, but the styles really come in through, for example, with world music, stylistically, I'm very interested in the music of the East, Middle Eastern music, and blending that in with Western music. And then there's all sorts of different styles that are now available to us through world music. There's indigenous music, like for example, on the first record, I've got an Aboriginal singer singing. I've got the didgeridoo instrument, which is an Aboriginal instrument, very ancient instrument from here in Australia. Yeah, it's on the second record, which is not released yet. There are different styles there. There is Quechua singing, which is the ancient Inca language, because that album is inspired by South America. And there's Spanish, Hebrew. So there's all different flavors and styles that are incorporated into the music of ELViRiA.
yeah, in all but in music or in who have inspired you or whom you admire.
Yeah, sure. I mean, in terms of specific singers, I would say more generally. I mean, I do like certain Persian singers. I like Dariush and so on. But in terms of the actual songwriting process for me, it's the flavor of Persian music and the flavor of Indian music which really moves me the most. Beyond actual specific examples. For example, in this new record, the Meshkin Alam album, in the title track, there are a whole range of Persian instruments that are used, probably more than any other song that I've ever written or produced. There is a ney, which is a Persian reed flute. There are a large number of rhythmical instruments. There is a tombak, which is a Persian goblet drum, as well as other Middle Eastern instruments, a darbuka, Egyptian and Turkish goblet drum. There's a tabla, which is the Indian goblet drum. Also, the tanpura is in that song, which is an Indian string instrument I'm sure you're familiar with, which creates a kind of a drone melodic support for the other instruments. So yeah, there are plenty of different styles and instruments from a Persian musical kind of background, as well as an Indian, which I absolutely love putting into new music.
You for in the music
So I was classically trained in the violin as a child. I started at the age of 5, and also taught myself guitar growing up after that. So they're the main instruments. For the ELViRiA project, it's usually an electric violin. I will play as a lead, but they're my main kind of instruments.
Do you any have or a room in the movie?
Well, yeah, the main computer program that I use is Pro Tools. That's pretty much an international industry standard. It's I don't use it to compose as much because the composition happens mostly in my head. But yeah, it's an excellent program for recording music because you can basically record it in layers. So you'll record the drums, the bass guitar, the electric guitars, the bass, one at a time you can do, which is something I like to do. I like to work with one musician at a time instead of a whole group because it's more easy to manage and really hone in on what's happening. So yeah, that would be the main kind of a tool, if you like. And yeah.
How many music are part of your band?
So yeah, the band is it's a bit of a fluid entity. It really morphs and grows bigger and smaller depending on what the project and the need is. In the studio, the musicians are anywhere around 25 musicians a song. But for a live performance, I believe we can pull it off with about 6 musicians. It's basically me on lead vocals, electric violin, and then there's lead guitar, rhythm guitar, bass player, a multi-level keyboard player that can play the strings and the brass parts, and a drummer. So yeah, it really depends on what the context is.
What do you enjoy more about collaborating with them?
I think it's incredibly satisfying to be part of that process where you can see the song coming to life with each new layer that's been recorded and laid onto it, and then obviously the most satisfying part is right at the end of that journey when the whole thing comes together, and you can listen to it and sit back and remember the journey that you went through. It is really a personal transformation. I think every song is a personal transformation because of the dedication and the determination and the creativity that goes into making each piece of music.
Is there any particular name or film you like to recommend to the music?
I think the message, if there is a single message, would be it's to do with being more accepting, to do with being non-judgmental, embracing people from different backgrounds, celebrating different cultures, different faiths, different types of people, and really acknowledging that we're all part of the same human family. That would be the main message of the music.
For everybody in the community, do you have any advice or word of wisdom here.
Sure, Anand. I would say for any aspiring singer or musician, or indeed any artist, I would say the most important thing is follow your calling. Go with your heart. Do the kind of work that you really want to do, because that calling or that dream that you have as an artist is something that I think is flowing through us. It's like we're just like conduits, and it's a greater energy. I mean, you can call it whatever you want. It could be the universe or Mother Nature or God. People call it different things, but it is that energy that's greater than us that really animates things, that flows through us. And I think by following your calling and being true to yourself, you're also honoring that great creative force that's at work in the universe.
Like, I would like to know how was it, how your experience has been with the left and AI has been you.
I think it's incredible, Anand. I've really enjoyed the interview. I've been looking forward to it ever since we met in India, and yeah, what a great program. I mean, it's incredible how much AI is assisting in different aspects of life, and you hear about it on the news. You know what's going on, and who knows what the world's going to be like in 5 or 10 or 20 years. So yes, incredible interview and great AI assistance.
Thank you, Amir, for this wonderful interview.
It's a pleasure to be on your program, Anand, and I'd like to honor your intelligent questions and your intelligence and your determination and courage in everything you do. You're an incredible human being.
Wishing you all the best in your technique and your goodbye.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.